Alright guys, today I'm going to go over the hitch and wiring kit that I've installed on my E90 BMW. I've searched the internet and can't really find anything on towing options for the E90 specifically in the United States. I know they tow with them in Europe, but even that information is kind of hard to get a hold of and doesn't really transfer over 100%. So the hitch that I have installed, I found it, it's made by Draw-Tite. I believe I paid about $280 for it. It's relatively simple to install. The hardest part was removing the rear bumper and all the clips around each side of the bumper there. But it mounts to the rear crash bar under here. There's the top inner bolt and the bottom bolt on each side come out of the crash bar, and then the hitch will just slip right onto there. There is a brace bar that goes from the hitch itself to the rear subframe of the vehicle. There's two little spacers that you put through there and a bolt. You want to Loctite that bolt and torque it to spec, and that's basically the entire installation of the hitch. It really didn't take long at all. Like I said, the hardest part was removing the rear bumper. There's actually the part number of the hitch. Again, it's made by Draw-Tite. This is the model for the sedan. I believe it's different for the touring and the coupe model. There you can see the bolts that it attaches to. Just that top inner bolt on each side and then the bottom bolt on each side. There are washers that go behind this so that it doesn't crush this little lip on the crash bar itself. You don't want to go behind the crash bar. You want to go in front of the crash bar. That way that fits with the spacers correctly. As you can see, I do have a 4-pin trailer wiring harness installed as well. That is the Tekonsha ZCI. It's a zero cut. It just has sensors that wrap around each wire. It was relatively simple to install as well. I believe I paid about $160 for that. I installed it myself. I have it installed here on the in the battery box. There it is, and the part number for it right there. It has little sensors that I have wrapped up in Tessa tape to try to keep it as OEM looking as possible and keep it from chafing on anything. They're sensors, kind of hard to see them. They're wrapped in foam and tape, but they just clamp on to each of the wires without penetrating the wire. So it doesn't mess with your body control modules or any of that kind of stuff. It doesn't cause any issues with the CAN bus system. You just tap it into power and ground right there with a little fuse, and that powers the box, and that provides all the power for the trailer. You do have one wire that needs to go over to the left side of the vehicle, the driver's side. That's going to be your left turn signal wire. I just snaked that underneath the carpet and rear panel in the rear. That brings it over to under here, and then it just, like the other side, it just clamps on the wire, and then you have your sensor. I do recommend that everybody buy a 4-pin tester if you don't have the trailer with you when you're going to be installing it, just to make things easier for yourself. That just plugs right into your 4-pin harness right there, and then you're good to go. You can make sure everything's working. The Tekonsha thing, it has a learn mode that you have to follow. You can see how to do it right there. It's relatively simple. I did it one time and it seemed to work just fine. I've seen other people have had issues with it, but all you have to do to reset it and try again is pull the fuse out for 30 seconds and reinstall the fuse. So it's relatively simple process there. As for the hitch itself, I have gone with a 5-inch rise CURT hitch. There's the information on it. I have a 2-inch ball in it, and this is rated for 350 pounds of tongue weight. The hitch, I believe, and the vehicle are rated for 200 pounds of tongue weight, so this is more than enough. It is solid, by the way. It's not hollow. And that seems to be about the perfect amount of rise for a 5x8 utility trailer. I believe it is about 18 inches from the center line on the ball to the ground, unloaded. Loaded, obviously, it'll sag a little bit, but it's really not a lot. I've stood on here, I weigh about 200 pounds, and that's more than I'll ever have tongue weight on it. Like I said, I'm going to be pulling a 5x8 utility trailer with a motorcycle on it. Combined weight on that is about 800 pounds, which is well within the limits. If I remember correctly, it's about 1,700 pounds total that you can tow with this vehicle. The trailer harness it just comes right out here. It is just a 4-pin. That was relatively simple to install as well, like I said. And then all in all, I believe I have around $500 in this whole hitch setup. I am going to be taking this on a 2,000 mile round trip, road trip. So 2,000 miles there and then 2,000 miles home. So I will report back and see how that works out. And if I make any changes, I will update on that. I will have the link to the hitch, the 5-inch rise receiver, and the light kit all in the description, as well as any other information that I can come up with that I forgot to mention in the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Hope this helps. Like I said, there's no information that I've found on the internet about E90 towing in the US. So this is the only video that I've seen out there that is out there now. So I hope that helps. Like I said, if you have any questions, let me know, and have a good one.